Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today, Kat has balanced Hankwaka on top of my camera, and he is staring at me, and it's freaking me out, but he's gonna stay there, and I'm just gonna try to not be distracted by his big beady eyes staring at me this whole video. That's my challenge. Anyway, today, what I thought would be fun, that is always a good time, is diving into the wonderful world of Am I the Asshole? Because people suck. It's always a fun time to read stories about where someone is an asshole and someone isn't, and then we get to play judge and decide who is the asshole. It's a fun game, and there is no shortage of content. The Reddit has 17 million people in it, or some ridiculous number, so there's an infinite amount of content in here. We will never run out. We will live here forever. And so today, we're gonna have a look through some of the ones that show up. But before we get started, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Mr. Noodle. I appreciate your support so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For only £1 a month, you get my videos weeks in advance right now. So if you are interested in seeing a bunch of my videos early, then go check that out. And for £3 and up, you get a bunch of other perks as well. If you're interested, I appreciate it a lot. Anyway, let's get into the assholes. That sounds real weird, but I'm rolling with it. Am I the asshole for telling my parent friend that she needs to cook and that is why her daughter isn't eating? My daughter has a best friend since kindergarten. They are in 7th grade. This year, Sarah has gotten quite thin and her mother has come to me saying she isn't eating. My daughter backed this up and said that she picks at her food at school. I thought it was an eating disorder at the time and told my friend to take her to the doctors. My friend needed to leave for a work trip this week and asked me to watch over her. No big deal, she'll stay over for the week. First night, I made meatloaf and she ate it. She didn't get sick. The rest of the week, anything I made, she would eat no issue. She even came back for seconds most meals. At the end of the week, she asked me why my food didn't make her sick. Apparently, she only eats TV dinners at home, which make her feel like crap. The school food also sometimes makes her sick, so she is cautious about it. My guess is there is an allergen in preservative foods. She needs to get that checked out. I dropped her off and pulled my friend to the side and told her everything. I told her that she really needs to cook and take her to get her allergies checked out. She was not happy I said this and basically called me a jerk for overstepping. Am I the asshole? Should I apologize? I don't think it's overstepping to be concerned about a child who isn't eating and is actively losing weight and being unhealthy. It's not overstepping. That's just what a decent person should do. The fact this mother was like, how dare you, that's overstepping. How dare you tell me how to parent my child? Do you not want your kid to be healthy? Like, you should be grateful that she found this out and was trying to help. You are potentially, you are poisoning your child right now. She has allergies. I'm sorry you didn't figure it out, and maybe you feel like a bad mom for not figuring it out, and maybe that's what this is. But someone else figured it out and has told you how to fix it. So you should probably do that. And if you don't have time to cook, that sucks, and I'm really sorry, but you should maybe figure out an alternative then that isn't just preservative-based TV dinners, which I don't even think are that cheap, right? Can you instead get easy stuff like pasta with just pesto, peas, and sausages or whatever, spaghetti and meatballs, whatever. There's a bunch of easy, really quick food that you can make so your daughter doesn't get sick, and you should really be taking that on, because you should be concerned. I think that you're definitely not the asshole. The kid's mother, however, is an asshole because she's not listening to what is going to actually help her daughter not be sick anymore. Am I the asshole for dismissing my sister, saying I need to rename my son because it's on her baby list, and telling my parents she better buy rights for the names if she wants people to stop using them? This is so petty, but maybe I went too far. I, 26 female, have an older sister, Jade, 28 female, who is not in a relationship, is not pregnant, and is not planning to have kids anytime soon. While I had my son a few days ago, I'm not close to my family. There's a very big golden child thing with Jade, and my parents really should have stopped at their one perfect darling kid, what they call her. Your parents call her their one perfect darling kid? I'm so sorry. Oh my god, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. Because I got the short end of the stick with them always. So when they found out my son's name is Finnick, Jade came to me and told me I could not call him Finnick and needed to rename my son because Finnick is on her baby boy name list, so she's going to use it one day and not me. I laughed in her face and told her to leave and dismissed her request by saying she had no authority in this. My parents decided to jump in the next day and they told me I should listen to my sister and choose another name to be a good sister to Jade. They said to think about how Jade would feel and she prides herself on that. I decided to bring some snark into this and my response was simply that if Jade wants to own the rights to names, she better get rich fast and buy those names, otherwise she cannot stop people from using the ones on her list, not even me. For the record, I know it doesn't work like that. My parents started to freak out over this and basically told me I was being a bully, saying things like that, and how dare I dismiss Jade. I threw them out too, and what followed was texts from Jade and my parents saying I had no reason to treat them so badly. I blocked them. I might be done. But did I go too far? This is an interesting case of I think that you can name your baby whatever you want. No one owns names. I think that if you were fully aware that this was a name on your sister's baby list, if she has spent time saying that she wants to name her kid Finnick and you have heard her say that, then maybe I understand your sister being upset. If this is a name you knew she wanted, then I think she's okay in being upset. I don't think you have to change the name of your baby, but I do understand why she's upset. If this is not something you knew, if she has not actively told you, one day I'm going to name my son Finnick, one day I'm going to have a baby and I'm going to name him Finnick, then you're absolutely in the right completely. And she's allowed to be upset, but she can't be that upset, you know? I feel like that's sort of where the line is. Unless you also actively have said you wanted to name your kid Finnick. If this is a conversation you've both had and it's been I want to name my son Finnick, I want to name my son Finnick, then you just won the race. So that little bit of context, I think, makes a bit of a difference to the situation. I think that if you've deliberately named your son Finnick, even though you knew your sister wanted to do that, then it might be a little bit of a dick move. But ultimately, I think it's fine. That's really my input here. Am I the asshole for calling out my sister-in-law in front of everyone when she wouldn't stop making comments about me trying to be a sexy baby? I'm 27 female. I'm a very short woman, 4'9" and under 100 pounds. I don't want to complain about being small, but there are a lot of people out there, especially other women, who will not take us seriously, are judgmental, make snide comments, assume attraction to us is nefarious, etc. A lot of comments that imply we're not real women, etc. I'm used to it and usually let it roll off my back. But there's a new one that's picked up momentum that I guess stems from a TV show where a girl is putting on a childish act and she says, "I'm a very sexy baby," in a cutesy voice, and there's a lot more to it that you can just Google.
I'm a very sexy baby. I can't help it if men are attracted to me.
My sister-in-law Cassie has picked this up and has been using this against me. I can't wear a cute outfit without her coming on me and chiding me for buying into the whole sexy baby thing, when I am just wearing an outfit. I'm just trying to be me. God forbid I wear a shorter skirt or bows or anything I think is cute. It's like I'm not allowed to wear cute or sexy things because I'm petite, so I'm automatically seen as trying to be a sexy baby, when I'm not. I've asked Cassie to stop or drop it, and she maintains that I'm the one opening myself up to judgment and I should dress my age. This came to a head last weekend when we were in my auntie's backyard at the pool. I took off my wrap so I could hang with my feet in the pool with my cousins, and Cassie immediately said, "You are a very sexy baby," at me and twirled imaginary pigtails. I raised my voice and said, "That's a really weird thing to keep saying. What is your problem with me? Why do you keep bringing up that I'm small?" She started to turn red and yelled back again that I'm the one that's choosing to walk around looking like the sexy baby. I said that I'm literally just wearing a bathing suit, a one-piece halter, and asked her what I should be wearing instead if that's such a problem. She yelled back that I should dress like a grown adult and to stop trying to cause a scene in front of everyone. I said whatever and just tried to ignore her. Later on, we ended up inside at the same time and she came down on me for calling her out in front of everyone. I told her to stop trying to make me feel bad for being small and that I didn't choose this body. She rolled her eyes and told me to grow the fuck up and that trying to start shit with her is even more proof. I'm at a loss here and I'm starting to just not want to be around my family because of her. It's not enough that I get this shit from women at work, at the gym, basically anywhere. Now it's in my family. Am I the asshole for calling her out, or even for just, I don't know, existing in my body? Adding this in because I can't respond to every comment, but it's my brother's wife. He doesn't care. We've never been close or gotten along. He's always taking her side. Other people in my family are very hands-off / handle your business yourself just the way they are. The term sexy baby in general just like shouldn't exist. I just don't think we should be using it. If your sister-in-law is calling you a sexy baby, concerning, you know? Like that implies the existence of sexy babies, right? Like that to me, being like you're trying to be a sexy baby, like the implications to that are really gross. I don't care if she picked it up from a TV show. I don't give a fuck, actually. That's not a cool thing to say. The implications are horrible. And I'm so sorry that she keeps trying to make you feel bad about existing in the body that you were given and that you had. Like, like you say, you didn't choose to be so tiny. And there are so many people who are just so horrible to short women. This is so true. You see it all the time of, yeah, like people see women who are really small and they're like, well, the only men who are going to be attracted to you are only attracted to you because you look like a child. And it's like, oh my God, stop. Oh my God, you're like dehumanizing people. You're like making them feel bad for the body that they were in. Like let people exist. And yeah, what? You can't wear clothes that you think are cute just because you're small? That's so fucked up. Oh my God. Let people exist. Let people wear the clothes that they want to wear. And yeah, sitting in the pool in your like one-piece togs and she's like, you're trying to be a sexy baby, wear clothes appropriate for your age. Literally, what are you meant to wear? What can you wear? What can you wear? What does dressing your age even mean? You know, like all of these are just silly little societal standards that we created for no fucking reason. Your sister-in-law is absolutely in the wrong. You had every right to call her out in front of people. And I think she should be banned from family events, me personally, because what the fuck? I think you're allowed to distance yourself from your family, but I don't think you should have to. I think that she should be uninvited from family events because it's gotten out of hand and you shouldn't be made to feel uncomfortable around your family like that. Am I the asshole for asking our babysitter to set alarms when she sleeps? My wife and I, 34, have 3 children aged 7, 4, and 9 months old. I work a demanding job in the medical field and work many, many hours. My wife, not so much, but she does have night shifts often. We just got a new babysitter a few months ago after the one we had for 2 years moved for college. Our new babysitter is only 16, but she's been babysitting one of my co-workers' children for a while and I trust him. A few nights ago, my wife and I were both working nights and I saw on the camera that our babysitter was asleep on the couch and the baby had woken up and was crying for almost 30 minutes while she slept. That bothered me, so without talking to my wife when I got home in the morning, I had told my babysitter maybe she should set alarms throughout the night to make sure she's awake since the baby monitor didn't wake her and that it was not okay for her to leave the baby crying like that. I guess it hurt the kid's feelings because she mentioned it to my wife and my wife is really upset with me because she's only 16 and what I was asking is unreasonable and that this has never happened before, so again I'm being unreasonable and that I should have talked to her first because this could have been a learning experience. She also said I was completely out of line as well. I'm not really worried about a learning experience, but I'm worried about the fact if my children are cared for properly. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are the asshole. You hire a 16-year-old to babysit overnight and expect them to wake up periodically during the night with an alarm to take care of the baby. Like, they're 16. They have school. If this is a weeknight, they have to get sleep because they have school tomorrow. If you want someone to like look after your kids overnight and constantly wake up and check on them, hire an adult. Hire a professional, not a teenager. They're also paying them only $20 an hour. Covering an entire night looking after kids, like if you want them to do that shit and take that extra step, hire a professional. You're gonna have to pay more, but like if that's what you want, that's what you're gonna have to pay for. That's what you're gonna have to do. It's like that thing of like, it's not the end of the world if your kid is crying in the middle of the night. It's okay that she slept through that. If the baby monitor exists for like monitoring breathing and then she didn't hear it, then I understand that that's a problem, but that's not her problem. That means you need a new baby monitor that's gonna wake you up when your kid stops breathing. Basically, get a new baby monitor, hire someone who is not a teenager. Solved your problem. Don't yell at a teenager and tell them they have to wake up periodically during the night to check on your baby when they have school the next day. Am I the asshole for not allowing our daughter's boyfriend to stay with her on the trip we are paying for and offering an ultimatum? My husband, our 16-year-old son and I are going next month to visit our daughter at her college, which is a few states away. She is a freshman and has been with her boyfriend Steve for 3 years. Steve is a really great kid, but since money is a bit tighter in his family, he is doing 2 years at junior college while working to save up for the school my daughter attends. We have never taken him on a trip, but since he says money is tight, we decided to bring him with us on our visit to see our daughter. He visited her once on his own back in the fall, but due to his finances, he wouldn't be able to afford another trip this school year. He was over the moon when we invited him. We don't want him to pay for a single thing. His flight, his hotel room, he'll be sharing with our son, they get along really well, and his food and drink will all be paid for by us. And really, we are glad to do it. We've also never had a disagreement with Steve until now. When speaking to our daughter about plans, the hotel came up. This is when I found out that my daughter's dorm roommate is out of town for the weekend, and she plans to have Steve stay in her dorm with her while we visit. I told her absolutely not. I said what they do when we aren't there is their business, but since we are going to be there and funding this whole trip, he will be staying at the hotel. Call my husband and I old school or traditionalists, but we are Christians, and the idea of them staying together on our visit makes us uncomfortable. We think we are being rather generous to take him in the first place. The word got back to Steve, and he actually called me and asked why he couldn't stay with our daughter. I explained my reasons above, and he got irate. He tried to pull the adult card. I said, Steve, here's the deal. If you want to stay with her, that's fine. You will still be welcome to tag along with our family, but there will be separate checks on every meal, and he could figure out his own way there. He said we know he can't afford that, and I said all we ask is that you sleep in the hotel. He agreed, but now my daughter is saying we embarrassed him and he's thinking of not coming. So here's the thing here. If you wanted to establish that he couldn't stay with her, you needed to put that on the table before you offered to pay. You needed to be like, hey, I'll pay for the trip if you stay in a hotel because I don't feel comfortable with you staying with my daughter. I still don't agree with that, but it would have been better than like offering to give him all of this and then threatening to take it away, you know? You could have given him the ultimatum before offering rather than being like, here is this. Oh, actually, you're not allowed it. You know, like there are two different ways to go about it. But regardless, I think this is such a silly, silly mindset. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like you're like, it's okay for him to stay with her when we aren't there. It's like, you aren't gonna be there. Literally, what difference does it make to you? Like, you know, when he is visiting your daughter, you know about that. You already know that he is staying with her, right? Like, you're already aware that that is something that is happening. You know that they are maybe sleeping together or at least sharing a living space. And like, you have that knowledge already. What difference does it make whether you're there or not? Like, why does it matter? If you are offering to pay for these things and you can afford those things, why would you not just let them stay together? I just don't get it. They are both adults. They're gonna do it regardless. Your values are your values, not your daughter's and not her boyfriend's. And maybe you don't feel comfortable funding that, but like you should have spelt that out before offering, because surely you knew that that's what they assumed, considering that's what they would usually do. Don't offer to give something to someone and then threaten to take it away. Am I the asshole for relying on an older sibling while babysitting? I'm 18 female who just graduated high school a few weeks ago. I've never had a job before, and now that I've graduated, I wanted to earn some money for experiences at community college. I asked my mom if she could help me find a job, and she suggested babysitting. I thought it would be easy. My mom's supervisor needed a babysitter for the summer because their daycare shut down. They have 2 sons, Len, who's 10, and Bo, who's 5 and autistic. They reassured me that Len is very independent and prefers to be alone, so I would mostly need to focus on Bo. I've never dealt with autistic kids, but I figured it wouldn't be too hard since he's so young. On my first day, I got to know the boys, and things started off pretty simple. Bo played with his toy cars for a few hours while Len stayed in his room. Around noon, I called them for lunch. I'm not great at cooking, so I just heated up some canned mac and cheese. Len was fine with it, but Bo burst into tears saying he hated mac and cheese. I tried to get him to eat, but he kept crying. Since I didn't know much about autism, I asked Len for help. He was a bit rude, but took Bo's bowl, gave him some fig bars, and that seemed to calm him down. When I asked Bo what he would like to eat in the future, he just made angry noises and ignored me. Later, Bo started crying again because he couldn't assemble his fire truck. He asked for help, and since I didn't know what to do, I called for Len again. Len complained and didn't want to help, so I snapped and told him to help his brother or he wouldn't get a snack later. He did it grudgingly, and things were fine for a while. Some time passes, and I find Bo crying in the laundry room again. He told me his cat scratched him and made him bleed. I called Len again to put a band-aid on him because I wasn't sure how Bo would react if I did it. Len looked really upset while doing it, but nothing else happened that day. When their mom came home, I left. Later, I got a long angry message saying I parentified Len and that it should have been my responsibility to take care of Bo. She said she didn't want me to babysit anymore. I was livid because I feel like Len is very spoiled and can't even handle helping out around the house. My mom is mad at me, but my dad is on my side and is really angry with their mom. Am I the asshole? Yes. You did parentify this kid. I think you should have been told what was required of you. If you're going in to help someone who needs special help, like, you should have been told what foods he didn't like and like given some ideas of like, you know, if he doesn't want to eat this, then you can give him this. This sort of thing is triggering for him. Like, if this happens, then do this. You definitely should have been briefed on those things. It doesn't say if you were or weren't. But for most of those issues, like, I feel like you could have just solve those easily enough. Like, firstly, you're leaving a 5-year-old like completely unsupervised alone in like the laundry room, and you only find him because you hear him crying. I feel like you should kind of know where they are. Like, personally, if I'm babysitting a 5-year-old, I'd probably be watching them the whole time. I'd want to be in the same room as them. And then you can prevent accidents from happening rather than coming in once they've already happened. And like, some of these are really obvious, like, just take initiative, like not being able to build the fire truck, so you called his brother to come and do it for him. Like, surely you can sit down and figure out how to build the fire truck or just help him out with it. And if he starts crying, then you like comfort him through that, you know? Like, if you're a babysitter, you should be able to like work with kids and know how to deal with kids and emotions to some capacity. And then being cut and asking his brother to come put a band-aid on it, why don't you just ask permission to Bo? Like, have the plaster and say to him, like, do you want me to put a plaster on it? Do you want me to make it better? What can I do to make it better? Like, whatever. Like, say, I'm going to put the plaster on it to make it stop bleeding. Talk him through the steps. Ask consent before you touch him. Don't just like call for a 10-year-old to come do the job for you. Like, that is a very simple, easy thing to do. And if he doesn't react well, you talk about it. You talk through what you are doing. You treat them like people, not something that you are scared of and have to be like, I don't know how to help this child. He's being annoying and I just don't view him as a person right now because he's not acting how I expect people to act. I'm gonna get this other kid to come in and do it for me. Like, don't do that. You have to take responsibility. You're looking after the kids. That's literally what you're being paid to do. Also, these kids have an older sister who lives states away, and she found this post and she commented on it because they use their real names in this post. Those are the kids' real names. So this girl, this woman, is pissed, rightfully so. And also, like, not only did she in this post call Len spoiled because he won't help out around the house, which is an absurd thing to say when this kid just didn't want to take care of his brother because someone else was meant to do that and he wanted to go be a kid. But to his face said that he was an incompetent and bad brother. So that's just not okay at all. And he also has ADHD and difficulty around people and just likes being left alone and quiet. So there's a lot wrong with this entire thing. But if you don't know how to look after kids and you aren't willing to learn and try and you want to pass your responsibility over to another kid, you shouldn't work with kids. You should not be a babysitter at all. Just like, I hope you find another job. I hope you don't ever babysit again because it's not your calling. And I hope that if you ever have kids, you learn a lot before then. Am I the asshole for threatening to sell my brother's concert ticket and pocket the money? My brother, 21J, and I, 21L, are planning... Oh, I don't know why I said that like they were genders. Those are the names they're going by. My brother, 21J, and I, 23L, are planning to go to a music festival later in the year. This is a 3-day event with dozens of artists, many of which would be hard enough to see in concert currently because all their tours are sold out. I fought for 40 minutes to get 2 tickets at the price $375. For a music festival with these artists and for it to be 3 days is a steal considering I paid $250 alone to see one of the artists. Now, my brother has a girlfriend, B. Just to preface, I actually like his girlfriend. She's really sweet and has always been kind to me and Jay. Here's where the problem lies. Jay is moving in with B the week before the festival. This past week, he confessed to me that he didn't want to leave his girlfriend alone because she was clingy. I told him fine, if he didn't want to come to the concert, then I would sell his ticket. He had already paid me the difference. And pocket the money. Now Jay is mad at me because he says it's his money. I told him that he sees his girlfriend every day, but I only see him 2 times a year. Even when I see him, all he wants to do is talk on the phone with B. I thought it was just a honeymoon phase thing, but they've been together for well over 2 years and it hasn't let up. My mom is now calling me an asshole because it's his money and I should pay him back once I sell the tickets. I told her there was no takebacks. If he wants to utilize the money, he can. God forbid spend a week with me to go to the festival. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are the asshole here. I feel like that doesn't need to be spelled out for you. That's stealing. Like, it sucks that you made plans with your brother and he doesn't want to do it anymore. Like, that sucks and I'm really sorry. But that doesn't mean you get to steal $375 from him. That's not something you get to do. You are not entitled to that money. Shit happens. Plans change. I'm sorry you miss your brother. I'm sorry that you feel like you've been replaced. That sucks. And I hope that you're able to work through that. And I hope you have a conversation with your brother and you work out a time you get to spend together. But that doesn't... No, you don't deserve the right to his money though. Like, that's still his money though. And like, especially if he's just moved in with her, you know, they need like a settling period, which I think is completely fair enough. Me personally, it would take a lot to make me miss a music event, or a concert, like, but that's just me, each to their own. We're all different people and clearly this is his priority and it sucks. And I'm sorry, but that's his money. Give him back his money. Because this isn't even an instance of like, maybe he's the asshole for bailing on you last minute. Sure, in that instance, like, yeah, it's a bit of a dick move because you've been excited for this and excited to do this together. However, you are a bigger asshole for trying to steal $375 from him. You know what I mean? Like, you're both kind of not great here, but you are much worse. Am I the asshole for telling my mother that I'm not playing replacement parent to her kids anymore? I, 23 female, currently live with my mother, 45 female. A couple of weeks ago, I left due to an argument and didn't come back until yesterday. When I came back, she called me into the room to talk and had her friend on the phone. This particular friend is supposed to be my godfather, even though I've never met him. When I came into the room, the friend said that he was glad that I was home and that I needed to stop lashing out and not leave again. I told him that leaving for a while was what was best for my mental health. He and my mother both said, no, it's not. And I replied with, maybe it's not to you, but it was to me, and you can't tell me what is and what isn't good for my mental health. They said that my siblings missed me and hate it when I leave. I said that that's what happens when you grow up around other children. Eventually they grow up and leave and live their own lives. They changed the subject and started talking about my siblings, 19 male, 16 male, and 13 female, saying that I needed to do more to help my mother with them and make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, like chores, schoolwork, etc. I told her no. I've been basically raising my siblings my whole life and I wasn't going to play replacement parent to them anymore. And plus, she's asked me to help before and when I tried, she wouldn't listen and all she did was get angry at me and say, you're not the mother, I am. Besides, they're all old enough to know what they're supposed to do. My mother said that she's tired and needs a break and can't work and take care of them at the same time and really needs my help. I told her that I've been helping her without even a thank you and now I'm done and need to start figuring out and living my own life. Her and her friend called me selfish and said that I only look at it that way because of my mindset and that I need to change my mindset and help the family more. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm like actually gonna lose my mind. One of them is 19. What do you mean? Get your 23-year-old to help look after the kids. One of them is 19. One of them is 16. Like, come on. Are you, like, be so fucking for real. Even if they were younger, like, it wouldn't matter because then she would be younger too. But regardless, even if she was 23 and all of these kids were, like, under 10, still not her fucking responsibility. Selfish. It's selfish of you to expect one of your kids to raise your other kids. Anyway, I stood my ground and said that I just wanted to focus on myself from now on and that my siblings are old enough to know what they're supposed to do and if they don't do it, then she needs to discipline them. Her friend asked me what I think the proper discipline should be and I said that's up to my mother. He said that's too much work for her to do and asked why she should have to worry about things like that after getting off of work and said that I should do it. What? That's just being a parent. What do you mean? It's too much work for your mother to be a mother because she has work. Okay, that's just called being an adult. That's called being a parent. Like, I'm sorry, you chose to have kids. That's what you chose. I stood my ground and said, no, you're asking me to play mommy to them, which I'm not going to do. I'm the big sister, not the mother. They called me a selfish asshole for not wanting to be a part of the family and helping. So, am I the asshole? Absolutely not. As already said, They've got 2 updates here. A few people are asking where our father is. We all have different dads. I never knew mine. My mother and 19 male's father broke up when I was 6, and I never saw him again after that. A year later, my mother met and married 16M and 13F's father, and he died about 3 years ago. But even when he was alive, I still did everything while they stayed in their room doing whatever. Edit 2. To answer a few questions, yes, I work. I get up before dawn almost every day and take 3 buses to work and 3 buses back when I get off. I don't pay rent, but if she needs financial help, then I can give it to her. As far as other housework like cooking and cleaning, etc., since those are required for taking care of my siblings as well as myself, then yes, I've been doing all of those things since I was in elementary school. Girl, I'm so sorry. That's just like not okay. This is just your mother not being a mother, not wanting to be a mother. It's having kids and just not wanting to deal with them. So handing it over to the oldest daughter, because that is a cycle. That is something that happens constantly. And I'm so fucking sorry that this has been your responsibility your entire life. I'm very proud of you for standing up for yourself and standing your ground, because it's so hard to just like not do that and just give in. And like, oh my God, some people just shouldn't be parents. You know, we have this conversation a lot of just like some people just shouldn't be parents. And this is one of those people. And the fact her best friend's there taking her side too, like 4 kids. She had 4 kids and she doesn't want to look after any of them. I'm so sorry. I hope you're able to get out. I hope your siblings are doing okay. They can definitely look after themselves. Like, they shouldn't have to, obviously, especially the 13-year-old and the 16-year-old. 19-year-old at this point is an adult and should be able to look after himself, but not have the responsibility of looking after his younger siblings if you move out. Like, you should all be able to have your own independent lives and be cared for by a parent, because that is literally their only job. I'm so sorry. You're definitely not the asshole. Your mother, however, and her friend, they are assholes. And I'm sorry that you've been stuck with them. That fucking sucks. I'm so sorry. Okay, I think that I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to finish on that one because we love some parent complaining. It's something we love to do here, so I feel like it's a good way to end it. I hope that you did enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts on some of these in the comments if you agree or disagree with some of them. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe while you're down there. I upload every few days and I would love to see you again soon. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Elias, Chris, Samuel, Radsack, Mr. Noodle, Jonathan, and Bonbon. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/ShavyCat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos very early now, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes.